Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, it's okay. We're ready to check this at 6 o'clock.
You're just trying to get a license for it's by, isn't that what it is? I think so.
Yeah, I think.
Good for him.
Good evening, everyone. This is the Municipal Council meeting of March 26, 2026. And I'm going to ask our CAO for roll call, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. So we start with Mayor Blair,
Present.
Councilor Weatherby,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Sanderson,
Present.
Councilor Richardson,
Present.
Councilor Cooper,
Present.
Councilor Johnson, Councilor Leggett is virtual, Councilor Martell,
Present.
Councilor Patton,
Present.
Councilor Benoit, Councilor Fletcher,
Present.
Councilor Kennedy.
Present.
Everyone is present. You have quorum.
Thank you. In peace and friendship and in the spirit of truth and reconciliation, I recognize that the Municipality of Colchester is in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and traditional lands of the Mi'kmaq. Council, you have a copy of the agenda before you. There are two additions to that agenda. Number 5.4, PAC meeting, March 24. 5.4 PAC meeting, March 24. And number 11B, under information, Municipal Records. 11B, Municipal Records. Are there any other additions or deletions to the agenda? I see none. I'm prepared to entertain a motion the agenda be accepted as amended by Councilor Weatherby, seconded Councilor Kennedy. Any discussion on the motion? Question has been called. Is there anyone opposed to this motion? The motion carries. The minutes have been, or the agenda has been approved as amended for March 26. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the meeting held on February 26, 2026. And it's been moved by Councilor Benoit. The minutes be accepted as presented, seconded by Councilor Cooper. Any discussion on the motion? Question's been called. Is there anyone opposed to this motion? Seeing no one, the motion carries. The next item is business arising from the minutes. Is there any business arising from February 26 minutes? Then we move on to number 5, and that's the standing committee reports and recommendations. And I'll ask Deputy Mayor Sanderson to address those, please.
Thank you, Mayor. This is our report and recommendation of council committee meeting held March 12th, 26. Personnel policy amendments, 5.11 exit interviews. I move that council approves the updated exit interviews personnel policy as presented. Copy of the policy is attached.
Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councilor Martell. Any discussion on the motion?
Question.
Question has been called. Is there anyone opposed to this motion? Motion carries. Deputy Mayor.
Oh, Tracy wanted to do that with the clickers, or?
I'm sorry.
Tracy's fine.
Yeah.
We'll do the next one. Okay. I got a little too ahead of myself there, Tracy. Sorry about that.
All right.
Okay, and the second one, please.
Merging of Municipality of East Hants into Colchester Regional Emergency Management Organization. I move that council approves that the Municipality of East Hants be permitted to join our Colchester Regional Emergency Management Organization.
Seconded by Councilor Richardson. Discussion on the motion. The question has been called. And your screen is up. Voting is open.
Loser.
Never saw it. Maybe I.
Oh, maybe I just clicked
No,
yours, did I?
me.
Oh, it's yours or?
No.
I got two for some reason. There you go.
Heard that before.
I didn't do it.
And Councilor Leggett, your vote? Do you agree or disagree?
You're muted.
You're muted.
How many rough thumbs?
Can you hear us, Councillor Leggett? Can you hear us, Councillor Leggett? Nod or shake your head. No, I guess that wouldn't work either if you can't hear us. would it? Okay,
I'll text him and tell him to turn it off and back on.
yes,
Think Smith is helping him right now.
Oh, okay.
okay, thank you. IT is helping, so. We'll just wait for a moment. We do have a majority vote. The motion has carried, has passed, but I would like to know. what council-
Yeah.
Okay,
How you doing? So on the item of merging the municipality of East Hampton into Colchester Emergency Management, are you for or against? For.
Okay.
I'll leave you on my phone then for this until you get yours worked in. So he was positive for that.
okay, thank you. The vote is closed and it is a unanimous decision. Deputy Mayor, please.
Community event grants policy. I move that council approves the amendments to the community event grants policy as presented, and a copy of the policy is attached.
And seconded by Councillor Patton. Discussion on the motion.
The question.
The question has been called. The vote is open. Councillor Leggett,
Yes.
and he has voted yes. The motion carries unanimously. Deputy Mayor, please.
Community event grant request from the Atlantic Members Conference 2026 4-H Nova Scotia. I move that council approves funding in the amount of $5,000 for 4-H Nova Scotia's Atlantic Members Conference 2026.
And seconded by Councillor Richardson. Discussion on the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. And the vote is up. Councillor Leggett.
Yes.
The vote passes unanimously. Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Annual account write-offs. I move that council approves that the 2025-26 property taxes, water utility receivables and interest totaling $8,575.46 as presented be written off. Copy of the write-off list is attached.
Seconded by Councillor Martel. Discussion on the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. And voting is ready. And voting is closed. The motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Deputy Mayor, please.
3-year cost-sharing agreement on J-class roads. I move that council approves entering into the 3-year 2027, 28, 28, 29, and 29, 30 cost-sharing agreement number 2026-007 for J-class roads with the province, and that the mayor and CAO be authorized to sign the cost-share agreement number 2026-007.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Patton. Discussion on the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. And voting is ready for you. And Counselor Leggett? Counselor Leggett, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay, you're back on screen. Okay, good, thank you.
Yeah. No, but I still have no audio though.
All right. And the motion carries unanimously. Deputy Mayor,
The municipal fees policy revision. I move that council approves the changes to the municipal fees policy as presented. Copy of the policy is attached.
and do I have a seconder for the motion? Seconded by Counselor Weatherby. Discussion on the motion?
Question.
Question has been called. And the voting is up. Counselor Leggett? Do you agree or
Agree.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Deputy Mayor?
The tax exemption request, Truro Homeless Outreach Society, I believe that's supposed to be Truro Housing Outreach Society. I move that council approves the request for a tax exemption from Truro Housing Outreach Society for property AAN numbers 00104-949, effective 26/27.
And do I have a seconder? Seconded by Counselor Benoit. Any discussion on the motion? Question has been called and voting is up. And Counselor Leggett?
Agreed. I can't hear you guys at all.
Okay. We'll keep you on the phone. And motion carries unanimously. Deputy Mayor?
Contract negotiations with the DeBert Airport Operator Agreement. I move that council approves entering into an extension of the airport operator agreement with the Truro Flying Club under the terms as outlined in closed session.
Seconded by Counselor Benoit. Discussion on the motion?
Question.
Question has been called. And voting is ready for you. And Counselor Leggett? The vote is closed and the motion carries unanimously. Deputy Mayor?
Personnel matter, non-union salary increases. I move that council approves the non-union staff salary adjustments for the next 3 years as presented in closed session.
And seconded by Counselor Kennedy. Any discussion on the motion? Question has been called. Voting is ready for you. Counselor Johnson and Counselor Leggett.
Yes.
The vote is closed.
It's a green and a yes for me, so.
Okay, for clarification, Counselor Johnson is green and the motion carries unanimously. Okay. Thank you, Council. Thank you, Deputy. The next item on the agenda is the French River Source Water Protection Advisory Committee minutes of meeting held on February 27, 2026. And I'd like to have a motion these be accepted for information. Moved by Counselor Martel, seconded by Counselor Richardson. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, then are you ready for the question? Question has been called. And voting is ready for you. Counselor Leggett? Voting is closed and the motion carries unanimously. The next item is the executive committee minutes of the meeting held on March 9. And again, this would be accepted for information. And I'm prepared to entertain a motion. Moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Weatherby, that the minutes of March 9 executive committee meeting be accepted as presented. Any discussion on the motion?
Question.
Question's been called and voting is ready for you. Councillor Cooper
Yes.
and Councillor Leggett is a yes. The vote is closed. And it carries unanimously. Thank you, Council. The next item is the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of March 24, the minutes. And I'm prepared to entertain a motion that these be accepted for information. Moved by Councillor Weatherby, seconded by Councillor Johnson. Discussion on the motion?
Question.
The question has been called. The vote is ready for you. And Councillor Leggett?
Yes.
Vote is closed and the motion carries unanimously. Thank you. We'll move into our action items, and the first action item is the first reading of the proposed amendment to the Colchester land use bylaw on lands owned by Family Acres Campground Incorporated, PID 201311793 at Folly Mountain. And is Paul, you're addressing it? Sorry, I'm looking around here. I was looking for Jill.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. This is sort of a procedural action item, so. And as you indicated, we did receive an application from, for the establishment of a commercial campground in Folly Mountain. It involves rezoning from rural general and agricultural potential to commercial recreation zone. The minutes that were just recognized of the Planning Advisory Committee, they met Tuesday past, and at which time they considered this application and decided to send along their recommended approval to council to approve this amendment. The requirements, as you're all well aware, of the Municipal Government Act requires 2 readings before adoption of any amendment. This being first reading simply announces your intention to consider the application at a public hearing, which would be tentatively scheduled for April 27th. 2026, and at that time you'll receive a full staff report presentation and can debate the merits of the application at that time. So essentially have 2 choices. First is to advance this to second reading and a public hearing for April 27th, or take no further actions. And it's recommended by the Planning Advisory Committee staff that you approve first reading and subsequently move forward to second reading and a public hearing at that time.
Thank you, Paul. I'm prepared to entertain a motion with regards to this issue. Councillor Fletcher.
I'd like to make a motion that council approves the first reading of the application for the proposed amendment to the Colchester land use bylaw as presented for purposes of forwarding this document to a public hearing, reserving consideration of the proposed amendment until second reading following the public hearing.
Thank you. And do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Weatherby. Discussion on the motion?
Question.
Question has been called. And voting is ready for you.
Yes.
Thank you, Counselor.
Sorry.
No problem. Vote is now closed, and the motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Paul. And going to ask David Quinn, to our engineer, to address this. But like to have a motion. Okay, David, please.
Evening, Madam Mayor and Council. There's an item in front of you tonight, with the purpose being to award a tender for front entrance accessibility upgrades and renovations to the building that we're currently in. This is not the first time you've seen some of this information. It would have came back last year in authority to award. We didn't end up proceeding, as you'll see in this item. So, bit of history on here. Councils, we've spent about the $70,000 in previous fiscals for the design work that was completed here. That was funded 100% federally through the Enabling Accessibility Fund, so it was really a net zero adventure. And we hired DRK architects to complete the tender drawings that would be in your council package. So that was back in the fall of 2024. So those tender drawings and specifications were provided to staff. That we then used for tendering last summer. So council's 5-year approved budget that was approved in 2025-2026 includes 1.5 million in fiscal 2026-2027. So what's coming upon us now for various courthouse renovations, including this project specifically. So this project's being prompted really because the front entrance of our building just does not meet current accessible standards. So this project's intent is to upgrade the front and have equitable access to our municipal building. Basically now, if you're a user who needs to use a ramp, you're forced to come in through the rear of the building, which is not an equitable ever when you're coming to a municipal building. So the goal will be to have everybody coming through the front entrance. So you'll kind of see that in the item as well. Just basically we want to start improving some of the flow of traffic of people in our building as well, as opposed to having people coming in from the front and the back. Really want to start having everybody coming in through the front of the building. So yeah, also, obviously everyone is likely aware that this building is also a registered heritage property in the town of Truro. So that does add an extra layer of complexity to a renovation such as this. So we did go to the Town of Truro's Heritage Advisory Committee twice, and we have received approval for all of the work to proceed back in October 2025. So a quick summary of the work is basically there's a new concrete pedestrian ramp that will be built at the front of the building if this is approved. Adjustment of the existing granite stairs. Two new actuated doors. So our doors would be pedestrian friendly doors with actuators, so buttons to press when you're coming in. Employee card reader access at the front of the building, as well as concrete pathways that would be upgraded at the front of the building, and lots of landscaping work as well. So the tender drawings were in the package. Originally in July 2025, we did go to tender with this project. And unfortunately, at the time, we received no bids. It was hypothesized that it was just poor time to go to tender based on contractors were already quite busy at that time. After we received no bids, went out to a couple of the plan takers to see if they'd be interested in just submitting a quote for the work. We only received one out of the folks that we talked to, and it was for $659,000. So obviously, there's additional costs on top of that $659,000. So we just didn't feel it was the best value for money at that time, and delayed until this construction season. And that has paid off in the prices that you'll see here. So we re-tendered in February. 14 companies looked at the documents and 4 tenders were submitted, with Fowler Construction being the low bid at $537,000. So they were low bids. The work's to begin middle of May roughly, and it will take most of the summer months. And if we award it, there will be some disruption to the front of the building, as everyone I think would expect. So there'll be various closures where we'll have some folks coming in through the rear of the building, just depending on what activities are happening out there for some site safety. So a couple options on the table. Obviously, we can either award and proceed, or council could elect not to award. Various other resource implications. I've summarized the additional fees, so staff time, materials testing, related tax, consulting, and some contingency. So that brings our total budget to about $650,000 of anticipated project commitment. So that's what is on the table in front of you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you'd have on the project. So.
Thank you, David. And first, I would like a motion, please. Councillor Weatherby,
I would like to move the council approves awarding the tender for the courthouse front entrance accessibility upgrades to Fowler Construction Services for a total contract price of $537,639, excluding HST, with an anticipated total project commitment of $650,000.
thank you, and seconded by Councillor Kennedy. Discussion on the motion. Any questions of David?
Question.
Okay, question has been called. And voting is ready for you. Megan?
Yes.
Thank you. Voting is closed and the motion carries unanimously. Thank you, David. The next item on our agenda is action correspondence. And the first is a letter to the mayor and council from Jeff Winters, Colchester Ground Search and Rescue Association, requesting an increase in funding support. But given we are going into budget deliberations soon, for your recommendation on this, Councillor Benoit.
Thank you, Mayor Blair. I'd like to refer this to budget deliberation.
Thank you, Councillor. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Deputy Mayor Sanderson. Discussion on the motion? Question has been called and voting is up for you. Yes. Councillor Leggett agrees and voting is closed and the motion carries unanimously. The next item is a letter to the mayor dated March 9, 2026, requesting funding support for the Truro Colchester Welcome Network. It's been sent through the Truro Colchester Welcome Network, of course, Chelsea Weatherby. And there are a couple of options there, given this is a financial request. One is to refer to budget deliberations. Councillor Cooper.
Yeah, I move that we move to budget deliberations, please.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Cooper, seconded by Councillor Benoit. Discussion on the motion?
Question.
Question has been called. And voting is ready for you.
Yes.
Thank you. And the vote is closed and the motion carries unanimously. The next item is a copy of a letter to the Premier dated March 17, 2026 from Mayor Mike Bartlett, the town of Digby, concerning support for the Coalition to End Poverty. I bring that to your attention, councillors. What are your wishes? Councillor Cooper?
Oh, sorry.
Council.
Oh, I'll move that it was received for information.
Great, thank you. It's been moved that this letter be received for information. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Richardson. And discussion on the motion? And the vote question has been called and the vote is open for you. Councillor Leggett?
Yes.
Vote is closed and the motion carries unanimously. The next item is a letter from to the mayor and council requesting the municipality cover costs associated with the I Am Responding app, and it's been sent by Wade Jennings, president of CFFA. It's suggested that this be referred to staff for further information. I'm prepared to entertain a motion. Councillor Benoit.
Thank you, Mayor Blair. I will put in the motion to refer to staff.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Kennedy. Discussion on the motion?
Question?
Question has been called and voting is ready for you.
Yes.
Thank you. The voting is closed and the motion carries unanimously. You had an addendum to action correspondence on table tonight. And the first item is a memo to council concerning a municipal heritage property designation application. And it is from Pam McIntosh, Manager of Planning Services. You see the suggested action. I'm prepared to entertain a motion. Councillor Cooper.
Here, I'll move that we refer to PAC.
And do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Johnson. Any discussion on the motion?
Question.
Question has been called. Voting is ready for you.
Yes.
You. Voting is closed and the motion carries unanimously. The next item is a letter received on March 25, 2026 concerning the province's approved list under the cost shared program for J-class roads for 2026-27. And it was sent by the Honorable Fred Tilley, Minister of Public Works. I'll ask our CAO to address it.
Thank you, so through the chair. Essentially, council approved a list that went through to the province. From that list, the province has confirmed that they would be willing to support the repaving work on Ice Pond Drive. So 0.727 kilometers of road with a value of 550,000. So the province would pick up 275,000. If we wish to proceed with this, we need to respond to the province within 20 business days from the time of receipt. So if council wishes to move ahead, we would need a motion tonight in order to inform the province that we would be accepting Ice Pond Drive and supporting the paving of that upcoming.
Thank you. So basically, we'll be authorizing the CAO to execute the notice of acceptance. Councillor Johnson.
So rather than I'll just say make a motion to respond to the province and accept support paving Ice Pond Drive. CIO will deal with it, return to the province with the sign letter.
Thank you. Seconder? Seconded by Councillor Kennedy. Discussion on the motion? Oh, sorry about that. Councillor, would the record please show that Councillor Martel has recused herself from the discussion on item number 6. And did I have a seconder? Yes. Did I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Kennedy, I saw yes. Moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Kennedy. And any further discussion on it? No? Then
Question.
the question has been called and voting is open for you.
Yes.
And you? Oh. Might help. Voting is closed and it passes. The motion is carried. Councillor Martel is returned to the table. Moving on to correspondence information, March 26. We have our 2 monthly reports from our development officer, building inspector, and I would be prepared to entertain a motion. These be accepted for information. Moved by Deputy Mayor Sanderson, seconded by Councillor Weatherby. And any discussion on the motion? Any questions on any of the reports? Then, are you ready for the question? Question has been called and voting is ready for you. Voting is closed. And the motion carries unanimously. The next item is a letter to Dave Westlake, Protective Services Coordinator, concerning a fire area rate increase for the Tatamagouche Fire Department, and it was sent from Mark Langell, Chief Mark Langell of the Tatamagouche Fire Department. And basically, this is a notification that the fire rate will be increasing from 9.4 to 9.5 cents per $100 of assessment to 10.5 cents, an increase of 1 cent. So this is basically a notification to council, and I'm prepared to entertain a motion this be accepted for information. Moved by Councillor Martel, seconded by Councillor Cooper. Any discussion on the motion?
Question.
The question has been called. Voting is open for you. Councillor Leggett?
Yes.
Voting is closed. And the motion carries unanimously. The next item is an email concerning a fire area rate increase for the Valley Camptown Fire Brigade sent by Chief Nigel Leggett, Valley Camptown Fire Brigade. And again, this is a notification, written notice that the area rate will change for Valley Camptown. And I'm prepared to entertain a motion that it be received for information.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Patton, seconded by Councillor Kennedy. And Councillor. Yeah. Councillor Leggett. Councillor Leggett, you can hear me on the phone. Did you recuse from that discussion?
Sure. Yeah, that's what the proper thing to do is.
Yes, it is. Thank you. All right. Needless to say, you're away from the table. Any discussion on the motion?
Question.
The question has been called. Voting is ready for you. Voting is closed and the motion is carried. Thank you all. And Councillor Leggett, you're back at the table. Still the table. Right. Moving on to our information items. The first is the community event grant applications. And I'm going to ask our Manager of Recreation, Craig Burgess, and to Recreation Department representatives to come forward.
Good evening, Council, and Madam Chair. Caroline is here with me tonight. She's
Yes.
The one that helped put some of the package together that you have in front of you.
Yes.
And she's going to take any notes. If we have any questions throughout that, we'll take some notes and get some information back to you. Our first order of business is the community event grants. And this is to update for community events for the budget deliberations for 26-27. If you recall, the community event grants enables programs that contribute grants to organizations that establishment and sustainability of events and festivals and create community and economic benefits for the county. The community events grants are accepted throughout the year, but we encourage them to enter into the January 31st deadline to make sure those proper funding is put in place for those events. We've put $40,000 into the municipal maintenance budget this year. And a lot of the other grants that we may get, we will be shuffling those off to the Tourism Society as well, working closely with them And with our new policy, the community event recipients are eligible for a maximum of 3, which has always been in that policy, but we put in the approval of policy tonight, a limit of 5,000 for this. We've had 4 applications that are in front of you tonight for a maximum of 15,500 we've put in there. Staff have reviewed the applications and compliance for that, as per policy, included financials, budget updates, joint stocks, and charity information. And we've done a little bit of analysis on every application. You will see a summary sheet that sort of highlights what they've received in the past, as well as a summary sheet with all 4 applications that were in there, stating the event, the dates, what the event was for, the dates, how much they were requesting, as well as the number of asks. For example, the Bible Hill Garden Club, this is their 2nd ask, and we've had another one, the Rotary Club would be their 1st ask. The Novacom Society 2nd ask, and the Truro Pride Society, this will be the 3rd and last ask through this grant process. We have a column there with some recommendations. So basically, if there's any information that you're required, this information will go for additions and deletions in our budget process. So if there's any information, you can forward them, ask questions now, or we can get some information, then we will certainly get that information to you before our additions and deletions meeting. So I open for council for discussions or comments.
Yes, councillors, does anyone have any questions on any of these events? Bear in mind, this is an information item. We don't require a motion. It is simply information and to prepare you for the discussions during budget deliberations. Any questions of Craig on 4 applications? No? All right, thank you, Craig. And we'll proceed to the next item, which is an extension of what you and Carolyn have done here. And this is there's a few more on this one. Grants for nonprofit organizations and the summary of applications from 2026-27. And again, this is an information item that will give you information and prepare you for our budget deliberations. And Craig, please.
Okay, thank you. Council and Madam Chair, this is update you on the 26-27 nonprofit grants submissions. If you can recall, in January 25, staff brought several changes to the grants to nonprofit, and we're going into the 2nd year of this. We've updated the policy for 25-26 budget. This year, we've had 32 applications were received under this policy with the deadline of January 31st. We had a total request of 133,690 for the fiscal year of 26-27. Our recommendation is 83,630, and this is recommended by staff to take towards the maintenance budget. This is a recommendation. They're certainly open for discussion when we get to the additions and deletions. All applications were deemed complete and required as per policy, including financial, budget, deed information, updated joint stocks and charity, as well as the community events that just noted. As part of staff analysis, we've determined and recommended funding, a review of financial indications, and organizations review and support of these sources have been taken into consideration. As you see the application, we did include, once again, a summary sheet of all those, which would list how much money we've given in the past and some budget information as well in each of those summary documents. And if you take a look at that, and you can comment on any of those. Should council require additional information for these organizations, we can provide that prior to the additions and deletions. So through the 32, there was a few that we've recommended no funding to, as well as we tried to look at the funding that was there and trying to get some of the community associations give a little bit, like a certain percentage of that. We tried to get as many community groups, because there's a lot out there that was looking for some support for that. So we've supported some that for their total request, but that was under their official large document, or I would say large capital cost anyway. So I would open the table for communication or comments or discussion on grants.
Okay, and councillors, any questions of Craig? Councillor Patton.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Craig and Caroline. This is excellent to have the summary form given to us. Matatall Lake is 2/3 in Cumberland County. And I'm just wondering, can you get more information on that? I went to the website that they quoted and there's nothing current on that. It's, their last AGM according to that was in 2024.
Mhm.
So I'm just wondering if there's anything current and where we go with this, where it's mostly in Cumberland County.
Okay, we can try and get that information for you there and see if they have applied for some funding through Cumberland County. And the recommendation wasn't for the total 100% ask for Matatall Lake.
Thank you.
Further questions? Councillor Cooper?
Yeah, thank you. You, Craig, please.
Yes.
Further to what Councillor Patton said, is that part of what was addressed under the French River watershed? Dalhousie's doing a study on that whole thing up there. Is that, would that cover them too? The blue-green algae thing?
I don't think they're associated with that. If you recall, Matatall Lake came last year for the nonprofit grant and they were looking for some funding, but they ended up pulling it a little bit ahead of getting it to council table just because they weren't ready for it or do that study. So
I'm just wondering if they're what they're asking for is the same thing as being done by Dalhousie sort of thing. So
we can certainly ask that,
yeah, if you
that
could
question
check
there.
that out.
And just looking at some information, they have applied for some funding for Cumberland County as well.
Had a couple more if I could.
Yes.
The Central Nova Horse and Pony Association. They're looking for some facility repair, but that facility is owned by DNR. So is that still something that we would be?
They would have through you to
Yes.
councillor, they would have a lease on that property. And
So as far as repairs go, that'd be okay then.
yes, yes.
Just don't do any capital projects.
And we've given them funding in the past. I think we're just, no, and I think we are just giving them for support for a washroom.
Okay.
For repairs.
Couple other questions, and these is basically kind of bring up the concept of what we're doing.
Yes, Councillor.
Like,
Continue.
Cobbett Society of Athletic Excellence. They're applying here, but we already given them money, aren't we? Have we given away 25,000 or something? Is that right?
I think we gave 25 last year.
So it's not a thing that's ongoing.
I'll direct that to Dan or Scott.
For the chair. They do have a request in for this year. I believe it is 50,000 for 5 years. They made a presentation in January or February, and that was deferred to budget deliberation. So that will be coming up
too. Something. Okay, so yeah, so I'm trying to figure out is if we're doing other things, whether we do this or if that's covered another way sort of thing. So the other thing I wanted to bring up, and notice there's a couple of them here. We've never done anything to do with cemeteries in the past. It's because there's a mile long list of cemeteries that could use money. I'm just wondering if we're gonna go down that road. We don't need to do that discussion tonight. I guess just wanted to bring it up that I'm concerned with that. So I'll just leave it with that.
Thank you, Councillor. And Deputy Mayor Sanderson.
Thank you, Chair, to you to Craig. Craig, just curious, was 32 up or down from the year before? 32 asks.
Through you to the councillor, I think we're up by about 1 or 2.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's pretty consistent.
Pretty consistent.
Yeah,
Further questions? Councillor Martel.
Through the chair to Craig, how does the amount of funding that we're putting towards the grants compare to last year? Are we lower than what we had provided last year, or is it slightly up?
Through you to the councillor. I mean, I can deliberate this or send it off to Scott, but I think last year we had 100,000 in our maintenance budget. I don't believe, Scott, I think we had about 75 requests last year, 75,000 or roughly around that number.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I think when I looked at it, it was fairly comparable to what we've done in the past. And we do build in a contingency as well for things that may come in between the budget and the end of the fiscal year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Further questions? Councillor Kennedy.
Through you to Craig, I was concerned with the Colchester Community Support Society. If you only gave them half at a time where food needs and homeless and everything is going up. I'm assuming the Colchester Community Support Society is the food bank. Am I wrong? Right.
Through you to the
Craig, please.
counselor. Yes, it is. Yes, that is the food bank, and just trying to what we had here. Yeah, I think, and it is just a recommendation, and for some notes on that, I think we had looked at the financials, but you're right, it is a concern out there, and sometimes we've had in the past in council, whether this was the spot to deal with food crisis or not, and that was just a discussion that we had a couple years ago as well.
Anything further, Councillor?
No, that's fine.
No? Okay. Councillor Martel.
Through the chair to Craig. Under number 11, the Creamery Square Art Society, the Grace Art Center. I see there that it's only been 50% funded of this particular ask. I know we've had a presentation from them, and that through additions and deletions, there may be the consideration for longer term annual funding. So I'm just wondering if you could explain why you felt that the 50% was appropriate for this. Certainly in the Tatamagouche area, we are a great distance for seniors to travel into the Truro area for, those social network and outings that happen. And I read through their application that, they want to involve more of our residents from the seniors care homes. Willow Lodge, Maplewood Manor would be another one in the area. And I really feel like a program like they're talking about and keeping our community active and accessible. Maybe we could take a second look at that during additions and deletions.
Through you to the
Yes.
counselor, and that's what we like to hear from certain people in the area. I mean, we look at the application and we know there's another application on the table that council will consider at additions and deletions. And as much as you see the application and talk to people that did the application, the passion from the community is what we like to hear. And these are just recommendations from what we hear, and it is supporting the seniors over in that area. And that's why we like to hear from councillor and hear their input. And that's why we put it up to the table for our staff recommendations. So.
Thank you, Craig. Councillor, any further questions? Again, this is an information item. It'll give you some preliminary information, and we'll be discussing this further with our budget deliberations. Any further questions before Craig and Caroline go? All right, well, thank you both very much.
If you have any information, please reach out to us and we can get that information before additions and deletions. But thank you.
Thank you, Craig. And the next item on the agenda is the elimination of frontage culverts, and I'm going to ask our Director of Public Works, Michelle, to address this, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The information item before you this evening is to advise council that we will no longer be allowing people to fill in their ditches along the side of county-owned roads. And the logic behind this is that oftentimes the work is done where the water isn't actually getting back into the ditch area. It's creating ponding on our roads. It's reducing the capacity in our ditches for runoff in the first place. And oftentimes the frontage culverts, once they're installed, residents don't really have the knowledge or capacity to maintain them properly. So not really functioning to carry stormwater away as they should, and in a timely way, based on the runoff we saw last week in the area, we want to be able to carry that runoff away as quickly as possible to reduce impact. So we used to allow these, and we will not allow these going forward.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions of our Director of Public Works? Councillor Cooper.
I don't have any questions. I just say I commend their decision. I've certainly been hit spots on roads, not municipal ones, provincial ones, they allow the same thing. Where the runoff on properties run across the road because there's no ditch for it to go into. So I think it's a terrible practice myself. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any further questions? Thank you very much, Michelle. Moving on to 11B, and this is the preservation of historical municipal records, and I'm going to ask our CAO to address this, please.
Thank you very much. So through the chair to council, so within the courthouse here, we have a lot of documents that often are from as early as the 1800s. And of course, they're filed in folders and envelopes and drawers and so on. And a lot of these documents, in fact, are deteriorating because of how they're stored. And in fact, you shouldn't really even just pick them up with your bare hands because they will disintegrate even further. So through some discussions with the historian, they have agreed that they would take these documents, obviously handle them properly, digitize them. So we would have the digital record of these that would come back. And then they have the means and the ability to store these offsite in a way that they won't deteriorate any further. So we wanted to let council know that we've undertaken a process where they have a term physician that's going to take as many records as we could throw at them, that they'll scan them, give us back a digital copy. So we will have, and these are being preserved and available, just we don't have the ability to preserve them in the proper way here in the courthouse. So wanted to let council know a lot of these documents, we're working with the experts on it and make sure that these documents are available for years to come. But at the same time, we would have access through them through a digital means.
Wonderful. Any questions or comments, Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Through you to Dan, do they charge us for this?
I believe at this point in time, they have an individual who was on term and recognizing we do a contribution to them. They were quite eager to take this on. If it got onerous and we had to get into some kind of a discussion about it, but right now they seem very eager to take it on and go.
And once those records are gone, you can't get them back. So to have this preserved is pretty special, especially from the 1800s. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Thank you. The next item is our reports from council members. Does anyone have any questions on any of the reports? Again, Councillor Weatherby, thank you for the minutes. Any comments or questions on any of the items? Well, thank you all very much for your reports. It keeps us informed of what everyone is doing and very much appreciate it. I'm prepared to entertain a motion that we go in camera. Moved by Councillor Cooper, seconded by Councillor Benwell. We'll take a 10-minute break and we are now in camera. Councillor Leggett, you have a guest? We won't say that he can't be in camera. You do understand that.